Before there were continents, there was water, an endless ocean that wrapped the world like breath. No mountains, no borders, no names, just light rippling through a living sea. Then something rose from beneath, a pulse, a rhythm, the first stirring of land. Not by accident, but by design. The water parted, revealing roots, trunks and towers, or the first living trees. They weren't plants, they were structures of consciousness. And from their branches, continents were born. These weren't trees, as we know them. Their bark shimmered like stone, their leaves hummed with charge. They drew energy from the deep current beneath the sea, a network that connected every rising island, every forming shore. Some grew taller than clouds, their roots descending into caverns that sang. They anchored memory, sound, and time. The ancients called them world trees. Modern maps call them mountain ranges. Under the roots ran rivers of light, caverns that hummed with a low pulse. These were not voids of rock, they were the lungs of the planet, breathing water, vapour, frequency. When the great trees fell, these caverns collapsed, sealing the ancient currents below. And the surface forgot what lived beneath. But if you listen in silence, you can still feel the hum. It's not the earth trembling, it's the memory waking. There are scars on the land where trunks once stood. Flat-topped mesas, hexagonal pillars, spiral cliffs. Geologists call them basalt formations. But look again, they look more like cut stumps. Across deserts and plateaus, the remains of a forest older than history. Someone harvested the giants, they turned life into resource, sound into silence. And from that silence, the current world was shaped. What lies beneath now? Beneath our feet, the roots still hum. Beneath the oceans, the current still moves. And beneath the stories we were told, another truth waits to surface. Before there was land, there was life. Before there was history, there was memory. And the memory is returning. The endless water still remembers the trees. And those who remember them will feel the ground rise again. Even now, the deep waters move in patterns older than science. They carry minerals, memories, and magnetic charge. Every ocean current follows an ancient path once drawn by the roots of the first trees. That's why coastlines hum, why some mountains ring like hollow bells. We think we're listening to the wind, but it's resonance. A slow exhale of a planet that still breathes through hidden lungs. Every tide is a heartbeat. Every wave is a whisper from the world that came before. The fallen forests did not die, they were transformed. When pressure met time, the trunks turned to crystal, the sap became quartz, the veins became gold. That's why ancient mountain ranges sparkle under moonlight. They're not dead rock, they're fossilized frequency. Each one a data vault from a time before the continent settled. Touchstone and you're touching a memory. It's not just geology, it's geology remembering life. At some point, the water pulled back. The endless ocean receded, leaving land exposed. Civilizations grew where coral forests once were, but the ocean never truly left, it sank. Hidden seas still move under deserts, beneath cities, feeding unseen ecosystems and forgotten gates. Every well, every spring, every geyser is a leak in the ancient seal. Proof that the world we see is only the surface of a deeper one. Lately, the frequency is shifting. Water is rising again, not as floods, but as vibration. Rain that feels different, air that tastes charged. The pulse of the deep returning through the roots of time. It's calling back the guardians, those who remember the hum. Those who can feel when the ground itself seems to listen. The old world is stirring beneath our feet, and its voice sounds a lot like thunder in slow motion. When the giants fell, not all of them died. Some bent their roots into the deep stone, becoming the pattern that shapes how minerals grow, how mountains rise, how storms circle. Every design of nature still follows that buried blueprint. Science calls it fractal geometry. The ancients called it memory of the root. What we call air is older than trees. Each gust still carries trace particles of those first forests. Crystal dust, ancient pollen, microscopic songs. When lightning strikes rock and rain follows, it's the earth replaying a ritual older than time. Fire, air, water, stone, the four voices retuning the planet. The sky isn't empty, it's an ocean turned inside out. Clouds move like whales through invisible currents. Every storm is the surface remembering the deep. That's why thunder echoes through bone, it's the body's way of answering back. The return of the water, the old seas are rising again, not to destroy but to cleanse the dust of silence. They come as mist, rain, fog, as vibration in music, in dreams, in pulse. It's the same ocean, just learning a new language.
Maybe the reason we're drawn to the sound of waves is because the planet is still calling its children home. We came from that water, we learned to walk when the tide pulled back, and one day when the song finishes, the water will rise again. Not to drown us, but to remember us. The ancients knew this fifth element. They called it the breath between worlds. A vibration that could bend metal, split stone, calm storms, or call back memory from the deep. When lightning touched water, that was the first voice. It sang the trees awake, shaped mountains from silence, and stitched light into the fabric of the sea. Every heartbeat we carry is a remnant of that sound. That's why we feel music before we hear it. The rhythm in your chest is the planet remembering its original song. The same note that once split the ocean is still moving through us. And those who remember the tone can make the world move again. Water is not empty, it listens. Every drop is an archive, a living record of what it has touched. When sound passes through it, the vibration stays. When light bends inside it, the image remains. That's why ancient lakes feel alive and why some springs seem to whisper back. Every tear, every wave, every storm is memory in motion. The ocean remembers the fall of the giants, the carving of mountains, the first breath of life. Even the water inside us still carries the same pulse as the primordial sea. That's why emotion feels like tide. It rises, it pulls, it returns. If you speak with reverence, the water around you will change. If you sing with truth, it will remember your tone. The whole world is a mirror and water is its reflection. Light never dies, it only changes form. Every ray that touched the first ocean still moves through us today. It bends, reflects, hides in crystal, and waits to be seen again. When that light met water, it learned emotion. When it met sound, it learned language. And when it met us, it learned choice. We're not separate from the sea or the sky, we are the prism that remembers both. Every spark behind our eyes is the same ancient current that once shaped the living trees. That's why awakening feels like light flooding a dark room. It's not new illumination, it's old light returning home. Everything that exists began as vibration. Before matter, before light, before breath, there was tone. That tone still moves through every element, folded inside stone, echoing through the ocean, whispering through our blood. When the frequency rises, forgotten layers start to hum, old patterns dissolve. Mountains shift, the body itself begins to remember. This is what the ancients called the Great Resonance, the moment when the world tunes itself back to its original pitch. You'll feel it in your bones before you hear it in your ears, a ringing, a pull, a warmth that feels like recognition. It isn't imagination, it's alignment. The sound of creation returning to key. And when the planet sings again, everything built on silence will fall away. The stone has always listened. For ages it held silence, waiting for something to speak its name again. It remembers pressure, heat, and time, the slow language of creation itself. Every mountain once moved like breath, every cavern once glowed from within. And when the trees fell and the ocean shifted, stone became the keeper of their memory. Now it stirs, the pulse of the deep reaches into granite, crystals hum in mountain hearts, and cliffs begin to whisper again. This is not an ending, it's a rising. The bones of the world are waking. And when stone moves, the world we know will remember what it was made from. At first, the change will sound like silence, a stillness that feels almost too calm. But beneath it, everything will be moving. Roots will pulse again, stone will breathe. The air will shimmer like it's remembering its shape. The trees will start to hum in harmony with the tide, and every sound you hear, wind, wave, thunder, will begin to blend into one note, the same note that began it all. The world will not end, it will return. Back to rhythm, back to resonance, back to what it was before division. And those who can hear the tone will know what to do next. Because the moment the planet remembers, so will we. You can feel it before you know it's there. A hum in the chest, a ringing in the air that no device can trace. The ancients called it the song of the sphere. It's the vibration that built matter, the hidden rhythm behind every heartbeat. When the frequency returns, it doesn't just heal, it rewrites. It tunes what has fallen out of harmony and dissolves what refuses to change. Cities hum with static now, but the deeper tone is rising underneath. It moves through water, through glass, through us. Every thought, every sound, every breath is being tuned. You'll see it first in the way animals move, the way clouds form, the way storms dance in circles instead of lines. The planet is retuning itself, and the ones who can hear it will know when to sing back. The stone has awakened and the frequency has returned. What comes next isn't destruction, it's synchronization. The pulse beneath all things has started to move again.